often do you catch yourself thinking, this is bad, I'm such an idiot, or that person's the worst? What if I told you that the way we label things as good or bad might be the reason we stay stuck? The DBT skill non-judgmental is the way to get out of that negative loop and free your mind. It's one of the skills in mindfulness that helps us to reduce emotional suffering, increase flexibility, and improve relationships. You see, when we judge something as bad, we want to distance ourselves from it because we want to live up to a positive image of ourselves. No one wants to be any of the things that we consider negative, like lazy, selfish, or dishonest. So we may deny it in ourselves and then never address it. Or we might keep away from people we judge as negative or not give them a fair shake because of one thing that we see. And we can miss out on working with a really effective mentor, having a loyal friend, or repairing a mutually beneficial relationship. Labeling things as bad in daily life could also skew our perspective so that we stay miserable. For example, heavy traffic, body image, and making mistakes could ruin our whole day, month, or year if we let it. Being non-judgmental is a way of acknowledging things as they are without labeling it good or bad, right or wrong. Judgments tend to be shorthand for emotions. This is bad usually means something like, I don't like this hurts, or I condemn this. But what if I turned I'm a failure into something like, I didn't meet my goals this time, and this is disappointing? Doesn't that feel different? Or what if we turned that person is rude into she walked past me like I didn't exist, and I felt disrespected? Isn't that different? The second option isn't personal. It leaves me options. I just feel more open to interpretation and I can go anywhere. If someone walked right past me, it could mean that she was distracted. It could mean she's clueless or in a hurry. It doesn't have to mean anything negative about me. See what I mean? I haven't distorted anything. The facts are still the facts. So this isn't about denying reality. It's just about not making it personal. When we have options and flexibility, we don't get stuck in black and white thinking. Observing the facts instead of labeling them helps to create clarity, improve problem solving, and open the door to peace. If it's so much better to practice being non-judgmental, why do we judge? Well, it's actually human nature. Yeah. Our brains are wired for survival, so it's always scanning for danger, especially if we've had a stressful or traumatic past. The brain is on alert to help us stay safe. So if you jump to conclusions that something is dangerous, your brain is working correctly. And sometimes too much of a good thing isn't a good thing. So we have to be mindful, slow down, and assess if what we perceive is true. These days, we aren't usually in danger of being eaten by a bear or something. The biggest stress is getting to work on time or finding a matching pair of socks. So that instinct to judge can create unnecessary stress and shame. Now, are you ever going to stop judging? No, but you can stop attaching meaning to those judgments. Here's how. First, notice words that imply judgments and choose different words. I tend to replace good and bad with desirable and undesirable. Feels more subjective. What one person finds desirable is different from what someone else finds desirable, and most of us think that that's okay. In that case, nobody has to be wrong. Should, always, and never can be dead giveaways that judging is happening. If you stay away from absolutes and replace your loaded words with neutral words, you're going to be right on track. For instance, this weather is awful can become it's raining again. Or I'm getting fat can be I'm not so comfortable in my clothes. In other words, focus on facts or observations rather than opinions. And if you do this, she's ignoring me turns into she hasn't texted me back yet. The second one sounds a lot less personal and threatening, doesn't it? Another way to use the non-judgmental skill is to look beyond the words to the emotion underneath. So if I say, I can't stand you, maybe what I really mean is, I feel hurt by what you said, or I feel unseen. Sometimes our judgment comes out to hide our vulnerability because we feel afraid. And sometimes our vulnerability is just what we need to get through the moment. If all this sounds good to you and you want to give it a try, please do. And be aware of these common misconceptions. Being judgmental does not mean anything goes. You can still have opinions and preferences. You're just switching to describing rather than condemning. It's very common for people who are trying to be non-judgmental to judge themselves for judging. As I said before, we'll always judge to some degree. If you do it, just notice it, correct yourself, and if it's appropriate, move on. No biggie. The third error is to be non-judgmental with others, but not give yourself the same courtesy. It's okay to be kind to yourself too. So let's look at some more examples. Let's say that you get a review at work and it's not perfect. Your inner critic might say, "My boss hates me," even though there are 10 positive feedback points and only one negative one. Realistically, this might actually be more like, "My boss noticed my timeliness at work could use some improvement, and that makes me feel really embarrassed." When you say it like that, it sounds like something you can handle, right? Okay, what about your friend who cancels hours before you're supposed to meet for lunch and you think, "She's so inconsiderate and doesn't care about me at all"? You could turn this into, "Her canceling is so disappointing. I was looking forward to today." If this seems hard, check out the describe skill for more practice on how to objectively look at a situation and talk about it mindfully. That's in the playlist, DBT playlist. All you do next is stick to what's observable, add a dash of open-mindedness and compassion, and you're there. So here's my challenge for you. Try going a single day without judging. This is your own personal non-judgmental day. Nobody has to know about it. Just switch things up anytime you notice yourself judging and see how it goes. I bet that at the end of the day, you'll really notice just how much freer and more relaxed you feel. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you like the DBT tips. So thank you all for being here. Ciao.